Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to go back in the history of 18th century, and we are going to kind of criticize sarcastically the English law. The law is still being used in the language only, but law is not implemented anywhere. In world means we always use the law of thumb. Law of thumb, but most of us we don't know where the word law of thumb came from. Law of thumb came from English judiciary. In 18th century, the judiciary decided that husband can beat wife, no problem. But he must not use any kind of stick thicker than his own thumb. It should not be thicker than the thumb. Maximum thickness of the stick must be as thick as his thumb. That law passed, and that law was known and is still known, and we still use it frequently as a law of thumb. But we don't know what is the history behind this law of thumb. Today we found out that the history is the judiciary actually passed this law telling the husband not to use the stick thicker than their thumb. I have created 4 points to elaborate this shameful law. Point number 1 is monumental law with monumental disgrace. The law was passed in England. England is considered to be mother lord of all the laws, mother lord of all the literary beginning, mother law of judiciary, mother law of Renaissance, Reformation. Every single thing, knowledge-wise, more or less, began from England. So, it was a monumental law by the monumental nation, but law was a monumental disgrace to every woman living in England. The law was allowing husband to beat the woman without any kind of calm or compunction. Beat them up, but don't use the stick thicker than his thumb. Point number 2 is no glorious but when glorious. The law was not glorious at all. Probably in 18th century, the law was greeted as the glorious law. But actually, in today's standard, it was a vainglorious law. It should not have passed. This law was actually embarrassing, humiliating, shameful law to all the women of England. That law was vainglorious. There was no glory, no glorious thing about this law. Point number 3, new awakening by English judiciary. English judiciary actually created a new shameful awakening. In English judiciary was that ignorant, that backward, that uncivilized in 18th century that it passed the law allowing husbands to beat up their wives with a stick no thicker than their thumb. That was barbaric law, totally barbaric, inhumane law promulgated by the English judiciary. That proves that England itself in 18th century was totally barbaric nation which has no regard at all for female. Like Shakespeare has said, frailty, thy name is woman. Like other guys, Virginia Woolf and all, they have said, woman is a woman, male is a human. Tennyson has said, men to command, woman to obey, men for the filth, woman for the heart. This kind of degrading and disgraceful remarks and stanzas were written no other than no commoners, but those poets and writers like Shakespeare have written this kind of disgracing, totally degrading, totally humiliating and embarrassing remark against women in 17th and 18th century. That proves that English society has become sophisticated, civilized society, civic society lately. Now, in 19th century and the 20th century and 21st century. But if you go back in 18th century, the society was totally inhumane, barbaric society with no regards to human life. Might was considered to be right. Might is right. If husband was powerful, wife was nothing for him. He can beat up the wife and even he can kill the wife without any kind of punitive damage. Number 4, UK females must demand for hefty redress. They still have a right. Granddaughters, great-granddaughters can definitely knock the door of the judiciary and demand for the redress for meting out this kind of treatment to their grandma and great-grandma, like the women of Japan did to South Korea, when South Koreans were actually treating Japanese women, or Japan was treating South Korean women, South Korean women were actually treated by Japan as women of comfort. Women of comfort. These women were sent to the border to serve the soldiers. They would take care of the soldiers' feelings, soldiers' physical needs, every single thing. Means they were used as a prostitute. Simply put, they were used as a prostitute. Japanese did that to South Korean women, no other way around. South Korean women were treated by Japanese as comfort women. Comfort women means prostitutes. And now, for the last couple of years, Japanese women's progeny, children and grandchildren, have been demanding hefty redress from the Japanese government, and the Japanese government have been paying hefty redress to all those progenies of comfort women. English ladies should learn from that South Korean women and demand redress from the English society for their grandma and great-grandmas given treatment by their grandpa and great-grandpa, and the government, means the legislation or judiciary, was on their side, and the judiciary allowed them to perpetrate this kind of atrocities upon their grandmas and great-grandmas. They actually stand, and they can deserve. They have a right to ask for the redress for this kind of inhumane treatment meted out to their grandma and great-grandma. So now what we see is, fortunately, is a great civilized civic society everywhere. But now you think just a couple of hundred years back, what kind of barbaric people and barbaric society was living, and barbaric laws were promulgated, barbaric people were perpetrating all kind of barbaric crimes upon women. That's all the time we have. Thank you very much for listening. God bless everyone on this planet. Amen.